I have I got there's some really cool things happening, and I won't detail what exactly those things are, but I've got I'm really happy with where everything is right now. I wish I could say more, but I can't. Just know that there's some cool stuff, and jeez, man. But I don't know. I just think it's really important for me to be here, and yeah. Oh yeah, check out my Harry Potter pillow up here. It's one of those ones where you like do the thing. Platform 9 3/4. Motherfucker. Yeah. All in all, I had to just like really think about my habits. I had to think about I still have to. I'm really trying to I'm just trying to follow the right way of doing things and try to be great and try to like, and I realize that there's a lot of things that I still do. You know, a lot of times we try to fix people. A lot of times we're judgmental of other people. If we're on like a path of like goodness and we're trying to do, like if we're trying to do better for ourselves, like we're on a journey of like self-improvement, we see other people not meeting a standard that we hold ourselves to, and we like immediately want to judge them and be like, well, that person's so yeah, I like there's stuff like that. There's like I mean there's so much I could go on and on, but yes, I saw a comment that says, do you still play your violin? I do, and I'm taking lessons. I'm taking lessons for violin, and I'm learning how to play the piano, and I don't know, I can't, here's the thing, you know, there's a J. Cole line, and it says, if they don't know your dreams, then they can't shoot them down. And the reason I love that line and that line sticks with me is because a lot of times we get these ideas, right? We have plans, you know, plans for our creativity, plans of making this or doing this or wanting to explore this. But as soon as you get that feeling, you get so excited and you just immediately want to tell somebody, right? You want to either tell your best friend or your mom or whoever, and sometimes you want to tell somebody who is not probably the best person to receive that enthusiasm about your idea, right? So you want, it's almost like you're trying to kill your dream sometimes. It's like you'll tell that person who you know is going to like look at you like you're crazy or like, so I learned that I can't put my ambitions and dreams into the public, because that gives them the opportunity to be killed and to be taken to the ground. Like, let's say you write an amazing, you come up with an idea of like, I want to run for school president or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, Mom, I'm gonna run for school president. And she's like, why would you do, like, then she gives you this like super, like, I don't know, like negative ass response, and you're just like, oh, you know what, I guess probably shouldn't do that, right? And like here's the problem is so many people think in this like analytical, business oriented mindset, and the truth is, like, and the problem is that a lot of those people will tell you, they're like, it's just how I am, this is how I am. And it's like, It's like, you need people like me. It's like, no, because first of all, you have a left side of your brain, you have a right side of your brain, and there's an artistic side of your brain, and there's a logical side. So we only really need half of you, right? We only really need half of all that you're giving me. When you want to do something, when you want to accomplish something, when you want to take a risk, there are going to be people that want to, that want to express their well-meaning concern about what you're going to do. And it's all well-meaning. It could be your best friend, it could be your teacher, it could be literally anybody. And they all just want your best interest. So they don't want to see you take a risk because they wouldn't take a risk, or they wouldn't take that risk. And it just gets caught up in this really messed up cycle of, you think of a great idea, you tell it to someone, it gets killed. You think of another one, you tell someone else, it gets killed. And we gotta break that habit. We gotta protect our dreams. We have to protect our artists. We have to work in silence. I did this Cameo thing, right? And almost all of you, like literally every other request was about, hey, like, can you give me some advice? Can you tell me something that I can watch when I'm down, when I'm feeling, when I'm not feeling the best? And I kind of gave everyone a pretty similar answer. And what I was telling everybody was, look, you have to, like, you have this feeling for a reason, right? You're sad, you're angry, you're annoyed, you're whatever. You want to do, it's a call to action, right? Like, I wish that when I was sad, there was something directly like, oh, if I was sad, I could just, like, do this and it would be better. I could do this. But the truth is, it's all, you have a multitude of options for when you're feeling any of these emotions. And what the thing you got to do is figure out a way to express that. Because, you know, when we're feeling these ways, we want to be heard, we want to feel like we're validated, and we want to feel like our emotions are justified and we're right in feeling that way. And, you know, that can come from, that's why either we express it to a friend or we express it to this person or this person. But honestly, the most healthy way that I have learned is expressing it creatively. And you don't have to necessarily just like you don't have to like do anything that's like crazy. But I mean, some people work out, some people do this, some people do that, and if you do that and that works for you, cool. But some people are like, well, anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but what I'm trying to get to is, whether you want to paint, whether you want, find a way to express that emotion and not have you telling somebody it. Because a lot of times, I put this on my story, this guy, Father Mike Schmitz. First of all, he's amazing. You guys should watch his videos. It's a YouTube channel called Ascension Presents. Watch that shit, please. Changed my life. And, you know, he was talking about the importance and value of silence. And it's such an important thing because, you know, like, it's easy for me in this room right now to distract myself. It's easy for me to like, oh, I'm feeling a bad way, I'm just going to go play Xbox, play video games, go whatever. It's easy for me to find a way to distract ourselves. And what we're really good at as humans are distracting ourselves. And we love to do it because we're able to put our emotion and our anger and all that to the side. So when you're feeling some type of way, you need to not distract yourself. You need to confront it directly. And how can you confront it? You can either immediately express it by, like for me, I'd write a verse, I'd write a song, or I'd draw a picture. I'm no painter, I'm no artist, but like if you draw something, whatever that emotion is going to be represented on the page. I may write just paragraphs. I may, like, there's so many things that I could do. And if I don't want to do any of those things, then I find some time to myself and I just turn everything off and I sit in silence. Someone's like, well, that might be weird. Well, it's the thing about it, it's not weird. It's just, it feels wrong, because here's the problem: is when we're silent, when everything else is taken away from us, we are it's only us and our thoughts. So when it's only you and your thoughts, all those terrible things start popping up. You start thinking about them, and that's why we distract ourselves, because we don't like it. We don't like the person that we really are. We don't like feeling we don't like the things that we're hearing. Like there's so many times where I've been like, oh, like when I'm by myself and I'll have this thought, this like terrible thought, and I'll be like, oh, like I can't, like this is making me a bad person. Like, no, it's not making you a bad person. It's just showing you what, like, oh, Jojo, what's up? Is this a form of meditation or similar? I say it is. It's definitely a form of meditation. I don't know if like it's meditation, but I just call it sitting in silence. If that's like falls into the category, then I guess it could be, but it definitely is similar to that, and it's like, back to my point, it's just so beneficial, because when you're allowed to just turn everything off, think everything through, let it flow out, then you can get over these thoughts, and it's like you can conquer them almost. And once you're able to accept that you feel this way, you've already gained another sense of strength. You've already gained another you've already passed a level. You've already broken through a barrier. Accepting that you have flaws, accepting the very fears and bad qualities about yourself. And it doesn't even have to be a bad quality like, oh, I eat too much junk food, I do this. Or you could be thinking like, oh, I want to give an example that's not so like horrific and horrendous, but I think you guys know what I mean. It's that deep, dark stuff that we don't like to say, or that we would never tell anybody, that we're thinking in our heads. And, unfortunately, that leads to a lot of really terrible things that happen in today's society when people feel like they're not heard. It's just an expression, it's a reaction, and it's like when somebody is so angry and just wants to express that, sometimes that expression can lead to them shooting someone and killing them. And that's a very extreme example, but that's an example of somebody who they weren't heard, they felt like that was the only way where someone could understand the pain they felt in a weird psychological way, And so when people do these terrible things, like, I know for me, when I was younger and when I was in middle school and high school and I was going through the toughest times of my life, that's when I acted out the most. I had the most, like, when I was feeling the worst about myself, I would steal, I would skip class, I would like talk back to my teachers, I talked back to my parents, I'd break stuff, I'd do all this just because I was like, can I just like show them how angry I am? Can I just show them? And then if I show them, like, and I wasn't like thinking this, but this is what it really was, and I was like, I just want somebody to hear me. I want somebody to sit down with me and be like, hey man, I see what you're going through. Tell me how hard it is, And unfortunately, in today's world, we don't get that. We don't get that from even our friends, even our family, even our closest people. Now, those who are fortunate to get that, don't take that for granted and keep those people close to you in your life. But the problem is that unfortunately not a lot of us have that. And for me, like, even when I was like going through the hardest time, I just got a mental diagnosis, and I would tell my friends, and it was just like, I just became like a joke. It was like, oh, that's funny. Like,